part 3. We had some technical difficulties for a moment. So what we were last discussing was the EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Sebastian explained it a little and brought through a bit of an example. And what I was adding to that was the importance of giving a voice to your emotions. That when we are having all of these emotions and these anger and maybe bitter emotions or fears and different things, and we're just trying to hold it in, realistically it's going on in our heads anyways, and it's looping. And so this is a wonderful practice to be able to physically give a voice to it, while also then doing the tapping, which you were explaining was the meridian points, which is then allowing the energy to flow. And so what you're doing, just by that alone, beginning to give a voice to it and just saying it out loud and just letting those emotions of whether it's like, "Rah!" and just really giving a voice, it already starts to calm down.
And we're not talking giving a voice to it like we said in therapy earlier, when you go through therapy and you just complain about your problems, blah, blah, blah. That's giving way too much of a voice. That's letting it rule your whole show. That's letting it take you over. That's letting it be it instead of you be you. I mean, that's just not what we're talking about, just so you know.
I guess it's giving it more of you're having to be in a more of a conscious state at this point, right? You need to get your emotions in control enough to recognize, okay, I am feeling this way. I'm experiencing this anger. I'm experiencing this fear. I'm experiencing whatever it is. This is what often practitioners or some people are really good at, assisting you if you're not, of actually finding, this is really connected to theta healing too, is we're finding what the root beliefs are. Sometimes it might be but it's actually not even angry or like scared because of something else. So sometimes it goes a little, that
it always goes
think
deeper.
it's
Whatever you
one
think
thing.
the problem is, it's definitely not, because it comes from somewhere, like we said, it's the root belief. Even if you think the problem is like you want to quit smoking or something. I want to quit smoking because I have a problem with your lungs or something. And you're like, well, it has nothing to do with your lungs and nothing to do with quitting smoking. Why do you smoke? And your lungs are affected by it. But what do your lungs represent in that area? Grief. What else?
So maybe you went through some loss or something.
Yeah.
You lost a friend or lost a relation, and you haven't really released of that yet, and then that might go all the way back to a moment.
Maybe to a past life, or maybe just this life. Abandonment, yeah.
And so within the emotional
you lost somebody, and you just can't let it go. It's just so. Oh, that's not grief, I guess. That's loss, I guess. So when I say loss, so what we just said is now that goes to grief. So we think it's a lot of things, but it really goes to grief. Okay, now, so that's what we're saying. So we can think it's 100 different things, but it goes to one of these root things.
You find as you go through what you're feeling it is and getting it through, and then you go then and find the root of it, and then you choose to change it. Then you start telling yourself a different story. So this, once again, is connected of how we got into even mentioning EFT right now, because it's connected with your belief systems and your program. So it's change work.
If you don't want to change anything, then you're fine. Then you're great. Keep on being fine. But if you actually want to change something, it doesn't matter what it is or how great you are. You can always become better. And so this is what change work is: noticing the self. Limiting belief systems and contracts and agreements that we've actually collected in our life that are non-beneficial for us, that aren't in alignment with our divine assignment now, and then we can change those into what we want them to be if we can acknowledge, recognize them, and then do something about it, and then put something back that's more beneficial. That's the epigenetics that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in something like EFT, then
you can just go ahead and sign up below, leave us a link, and we have definitely one-on-one classes, as well as there's lots of free content on YouTube that you can watch, and lots of other teachers all over the place. But if you want to sign up for what we have to offer, then go ahead, and there's a link down below, and we're going to continue to move this conversation into the rest of it.
So as we're moving into, I can see that we've covered a lot of, we've gotten into more of what because it's about health and wellness here, right? So we've covered quite a bit now into your beliefs and your programming since you were a child, that then has created perhaps many have had different health issues, or just blocks or any problem really in life. So that is one big chunk area of many different types of resources and types of tools that can be utilized to help and assist you in improving. That would be mental health in a way, I guess.
Mental health and it's mental health and self-development, because if you have a strong mental outlook and perspective, then you're not going to create a lot of these problems and blocks in your life, because you're going to have a really strong outlook on things, and you're going to
yet it's connected to
if you think great
spirituality too.
Yeah, because if you think great thoughts, right, and you're in alignment in your mind and you're thinking great thoughts, then your body's feeling those thoughts, that through that emotion that you feel, it's creating the hormones of bliss consciousness, and then they activate themselves to their fullest by you allowing yourself to continue to prime your heart and your mind to work together as a team, and your body then follows, and then you become a coherent source of energy that then gets its energy from inside and then emanates it out, and in doing so then it comes back to you through the reflection that you see in your holographic reality around you, because everything is connected to the field, which you're in the field as the field too. So in the quantum reality of entanglement, we're all here now divinely intertwined in this beautiful web of life and existence, where everything can and does actually work together in a beautiful pattern in this relationship of how we carry ourselves each day when we wake up in the morning, and how we greet this day. That's our belief, and how we then go about it is going to then bring us that reality to us that we want to see. And so if in fact we have this huge responsibility of being here and being conscious programmers and asking ourselves, what do we want in our lives and how do we get it? What do we want in our lives and how do we get it? That's a good question, because if we're always worried about problems. How can you just do that in the middle of the conversation? You can't just cut things like that. That's not just, you're making a lot of work for us. Having to go back through and make that much.